Hello, welcome to the Brother Slim and another enormity update. Yes, it's a fun one. I think I haven't actually read it yet, but I glanced at it quickly on my phone. So, update number 24. Outlines, Spacewalk, Slenderman, Minis, 600 discoveries, and PM reminder. Hi, Spacers. Hope your suits are pressurized and your flashlights lit and charging, because this update is packed with news. We've got gameplay breakthroughs, new mechanics, beautiful and terrifying miniatures, and just enough narrative weirdness to make you question whether you really do want to open that airlock. Let's take a look at what's new. Lines, borders, and spaceships. We've been working to improve map clarity because while Fog of War is cool, confusing layout is not. This is also the first step to a broader UX/UI overhaul, which is just a classic ITU thing to do. Look at any of the projects that are on the way to fulfillment and just going through development, and they start good and they just get better and better and better. It's crazy. We want enormity to feel sharp, clean, and intuitive, not just visually, but in how you process and play each turn. That starts with the fundamentals, how you see, read, and navigate the map. We also know many of you weren't thrilled with the fonts used in the Dark Side of the Sun demo, and we get it. Topography, visual hierarchy, and general readability of game elements are all getting a second pass. We're refining the way information is delivered from headers to flavor, and you can expect a major change in that regard. Since we started with the maps, our latest tweaks focused on adding bolder outlines to rooms and corridors. Oh no, since we started with the maps, our latest tweaks. Okay. Simple? Sure. But the results are surprisingly impactful. Take a look at the test map below. The difference is night and day. Yeah, cool. So a much clearer outline while still being very grim, dark, and evocative. Outlines help define the ship structure, make movement feel more intuitive, and give players a better sense of where they are and what's lurking around the corner. Visual clarity makes for smarter gameplay. Now your brain can focus on survival, not guessing where the corridor ends. That happened to me a couple of times on the digital playtest. Didn't really click and register what and why, but that's exactly why, so that's cool. We're still testing different variants, but this is the general direction we're heading in. A glimpse into the narrative. We know how the story unfolds, all of it. But hey, where's the fun in spoiling the entire journey before you even step onto the Shepherd? To stir your curiosity and torment all the theorists among you, here's a few pieces of concept art from the course cards. The cards that include key campaign objectives that mark the twists, turns, and tumbles of your mission. Each campaign features 10 of these cards. What you're seeing here are raw glimpses into what might await. They're not final, and they're not really spoilers, but tread carefully, Spacers. Every concept art can carry whispers of destiny. So these are definitely early concept arts. CC stands for course cards, so 2.55. What do you see? Hope, horror, home. Maybe a little bit of hope and some horror here for sure. In space, no one can hear your steps. The moment the airlock opened, the silence hit me harder than the cold. No hum of the engine, no creaking bulkheads, just stars. Endless, uncaring stars. Yes, it's happening. You're leaving the ship. You've survived ambushes in the dark, sprinted through narrow corridors, and held the line and pressure chambers. But how will you fare when the threat lies outside the Shepherd? Spacewalk is a new mechanic that pushes gameplay and atmosphere into truly uncharted territory. Step out of the ship and onto its cold metallic surface. There is no gravity. There is no sound. There is no room for error. Movement turns into something entirely new. Your every action must be careful and calculated. Navigating the hull in 0G requires careful positioning, momentum control, and nerves of steel. Without atmosphere, your weapons will behave differently. There is no drag, no resistance. Bullets don't arc and won't stop until they hit something, or someone. Interesting. This art is very reminiscent of art we've seen before, but I think it's different. Or it's a new version or something. It looks creepy and very cool. Stealth becomes second nature. With no air, there is no sound. Enemies won't hear your approach, but you won't hear them either, and them anymore either. There's no clanging boots, no distant growls, no warnings, just silence. Total unnerving silence. The light sources from your equipment become useless. The stars, the ship's distant lights, the occasional blinking beacon, that's all you have. You can toss your flashlight to create a decoy, or simply turn it off and trust your instincts in the dark. It's your call. The Spacewalk area has its own dedicated map section, fully integrated with interior zones of the ship. Seamless transition, expanded strategic options. Our QA team has responded to the Spacewalk mechanic with a lot of enthusiasm. The tension is real. The silence is oppressive. The possibilities are enormous. Nothing prepares you for the moment your breath fogs up your visor and something blocks out the stars. The shadows whisper his name. It's him, the Slenderman. The Slenderman battle was designed by Marson and took our testers by surprise. He's nothing like the Mothman you may have faced in the demo, whereas Mothman has an overwhelming presence, looming, aggressive, and theatrical. The Slenderman is the opposite, elusive, intelligent, and unsettlingly quiet. He doesn't rush in, he waits, watches, disappears. Interesting. Frankly, I would be surprised if the testers were surprised by anything by now after testing ATO, Kingdoms Forlorn, and the new Aeon Trespass game coming out in the future too. So I would be surprised about actual surprise there, but who knows, maybe. Testers found themselves second-guessing their every move. By the time you notice a Slenderman, he's already behind you. Creepy. The design leans heavily into peripheral threat, which is fun, given to Slenderman in general. He exists somewhere between shadow and singularity. The Slenderman is tied to the blips system in a very real way. He hides among the blips. To attack him, you'll need to use your scanner to find him first. You won't know if the motion you're tracking is an enemy or an echo until you check it. Very interesting. Slenderman battle setup. You want your blip scouting gear ready at hand. Without it, the shadows may swallow more than just him, but that's not all. Slenderman introduces entirely new mechanics, unique to his twisted form. Gravity itself becomes a weapon, a force he manipulates and accumulates throughout the encounter, represented by gravity tokens. The longer the battle drags on, the heavier everything becomes, limiting your movement, until eventually you're crushed, organ by organ, cell by cell. And yes, your campaign stats matter here. High values in certain attributes can unlock gated effects, after-attack outcomes, or even reshape your tactical approach mid-fight. This isn't just a test of strength, it's a test of awareness, memory, and precision. Got some 3D printed minis there. Very cool. It is kind of interesting having the Slenderman on a 32mm base or whatever, which would fit in like a single grid, but having it centered like that. I'm curious if that moves it, if that means it moves on these axi like blips do. That might be it. Interesting. One last thing. Let's say you manage to land a solid hit, a really solid one, right in the tentacle. Well, let's just say some things the Slenderman loses, you can pick up. What's in the loot deck? You'll find out. Maybe. Very, very testy and very cool. Materializing horrors. Time for a quick peek at some of our newest minis, straight from our in-house production line. These are still work-in-progress sculpts, so expect tweaks and polish before they achieve their final forms. But even now, they're already full of personality and teeth. Lots of teeth. And fingers, of course. Brought to life by Eric, our in-house 3D printing specialist, these prototypes go through a meticulous QA process to make sure they don't just look great, they feel great on the table. Yeah, that looks pretty freaking cool. Yes, indeed it does. Journeyman. And that does look cool. Really well done on the sculpted base as well. Obviously, 3D printing has different parameters than actual production printing will, but still cool to see. Unique specimen Grin Praetorian, known as the Doublehead. Creepy, creepy. Unique specimen Hollowed, which kind of like a Slenderman kind of vibe in of itself for sure. Yes, it's so creepy. Knucklebuster suits, very cool. Based off of the Grin. Work in progress? Yes. Worthy of fear and admiration? Already? Also yes. Discoveries. Not everything is hostile. We're currently crafting over 600 discoveries, narrative encounters, atmospheric slices of world building, and dangerous distractions designed to pull you deeper into the ship. And the ship has a lot to show you. Discoveries aren't just flavor text. They're twisted, funny, tragic, and sometimes beautiful moments tucked into the corners of your exploration. Some are just a few lines, others spiral into something much bigger. ATO's got them, and I love it. Their storytelling is great. They're so good. Written by Cash to Cure and reviewed by the entire team, these discoveries have become an ITU favorite. Oh, excuse me. Some are creepy, some are heartbreaking. Some made us laugh out loud, then immediately feel weird about it. That's the kind of emotional whiplash we live for. What are discoveries? They're all sorts of things you might find or trigger aboard the Shepherd. Some are fixed, tied directly to story beats. Others are random, tied to locations, enemies, or parsecs. And then there are those that feel like they were specifically waiting for you. That might be related to your character, I'm assuming. Each discovery is tied to a token, which is either numbered or color-coded depending on how it was placed. Once triggered, the token points you to the appropriate card or entry in the Mythos book. You resolve it, live with the consequences, and move on, if you're lucky. Here's a breakdown. Story discoveries. Pre-placed according to the current course card. They reveal lore in small, eerie bursts and pull you deeper into the narrative without overwhelming you with exposition. Random discoveries. Color-coded, so blue, red, yellow, tied to a specific theme. You'll find these in strange places, and they might contain rewards, penalties, or choices that alter your current run. They encourage exploration and replayability. I saw some folks not really keen on the random discoveries. I was quite keen on them, just building out the world more. I'm a fan. Chain discoveries. Thematically linked clusters that echo across locations. They don't tell a linear story, but they definitely hint at one. That kind of reminds me of the various adventure plot threads in ATO for sure. Infinite discoveries. Marked with an infinity symbol. These never become resolved. They linger always. Countdown discoveries, triggered from the countdown track. Sometimes they're quiet, sometimes they're a warning, sometimes they're far too late. A small glimpse in discoveries, or maybe not. Below you can see some examples. False engineer. Hunched over in the distance, their back to you, a bald figure takes a blowtorch to a panel. As soon as your eyes fall on them, however, the torch goes off and the figure slowly turns. Its distended mouth opens even wider, as if surprised to see you. Spawn hollowed 3 spaces away from you. Creepy. And hollowed, I think we just saw, is that unique long-armed, long-limbed fellow. Stilted orb. A metallic sphere about a foot in diameter, stilted on thin legs, suddenly appears before you. For a moment, the world around you grows absolutely dark, saving for a single dull red light on the device, which flicks its light upon you at irregular intervals. As soon as it appears, the device is gone. Gain 1 stress, discard all radiation tokens. Interesting. So whatever the small metallic sphere is, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up like an item that you can pick up later or something. Discoveries can interact with nearly every other system in the game, events, characters, inventory, even ship status. They're not side notes, they're part of the spine. Very cool. Your discovery could be one of them. For the first time in a long while, we're opening the gates. That's right, if you've got a twisted little narrative seed rattling around in your brain, this is your moment. Strange enemy behavior, an unsettling voice transmission, an impossible room that shouldn't exist but somehow does. We want to hear it. Send your discovery ideas to newsletter@itustudio.com. We'll read them all. The creepiest, weirdest, and most enormity-esque ones will make it into your final game, with your name attached, unless you prefer to remain anonymous. Please make us scared to open the email. I think I'm going to send one in. No idea what yet, but that sounds like fun. Pledge Manager update. Grace period ends tomorrow. Cool stuff. Cool stuff for sure. Is that... What is that gun thing from? I think that might be a different... I don't know what that is, actually. The grace period ends tomorrow, April 18th. After that, prices will increase. So if you haven't finalized your pledges, now's the time. Click here. That said, if you weren't able to process your payment due to a game-related bug, and you've already contacted us at support@itu.com, don't worry. We'll honor your order once the issue is resolved. Your pledge is safe, and we'll get you sorted. We've also received a lot of valuable feedback. Here's where we are. Split payment is in development. We're currently building the system, and it remains our top priority. Thank you for all your messages. It's clear how important this is, and we're on it. Address formatting. If you're not in the US or using a number street formatting address, enter your street like this. Cool. Or, okay, yep, we'll just skip past that. VAT deduction is on the roadmap. For our EU backers outside Poland, automatic VAT removal is in the pipeline. Once split payment is implemented, VAT handling is next, barring any emergencies from the Warp Core. And yes, Gameflight is growing. We're working on adding a comment section and more ways to interact with you. Until then, you can always reach us via email or our official Discord. We're there every weekday. A few words on tariffs. The topic of UF tariffs has been making waves across the board game industry. So much so, it's pretty wild. Not pretty wild, it's just insanely wild. Rest assured, we at ITU are monitoring the situation closely. At this point, we do not expect the tariffs to have a major impact on Enormity. As for our upcoming delivery of Kings Forlorn, we've already drafted several contingency plans to minimize any potential impact, both on you and us. However, since the situation remains volatile, with tax rates fluctuating on almost a weekly basis, we have not locked in a final strategy yet. A decision will be made closer to the KF shipping date, end of May, beginning of June, once we can act based on the most accurate and up-to-date information. Of course, our backers will be the first to know how we're navigating this challenge. And that's it for this update. As always, thank you for reading, commenting, theory crafting, and generally making this project more than just plastic and paper. Your feedback helps keep us sharp, and your excitement keeps us moving, and your wildest ideas, well, sometimes they just may end up in the game. And next time, it's going to be a big one. We'll reveal paranoia-fueled campaign mechanics for Black Compromat. I think that was to do with a grin, if I remember. We'll explain campaign stats, a complex and evolving system that shapes your missions and your survival, and where each campaign will approach them a little differently, adding new layers of strategy and tension. We might even introduce you to another boss, and of course, there's even more looking just beyond the edge. Stay tuned, Spacers. The best and the worst is still ahead. The Shepherd isn't done revealing itself, and neither are we. Ta-da! Cool, good stuff. Well, love two people's thoughts. As far as, oops, that's weird. What I'm going to do with my pledge, I would have loved if the split payments for Canada / anywhere else was engaged. I think I'm going to get one expansion for now and contemplate on dropping my pledge from the deluxe miniature one or whatever, which is kind of like what they're going to be going for the most, to the standee one. I was thinking about it, and I've shared this before. Like, I love the idea of using the miniatures for the game, like ITU. It's board game minis, so like they're not going to be as good as Kingdom Death or Warhammer or anything like that. But as far as board game minis go, they are quite good, and they're fun to paint too. So they'd be fun. They'd be very evocative to have on the tabletop when I play down the road. But there's a lot of things that I want to paint, and I just don't really have much time to paint these days anyways, so I'm kind of thinking that standee version makes more sense. And for sci-fi TTRPGs, standees will be fine too. In fact, I already have some for Mothership. So that's kind of where I'm leaning now. One expansion, drop down to the base game, standee version, and then maybe get a second expansion down the road when the split payments are available. But yeah, that's my thoughts now. Love to hear what everyone else is doing too. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Bye!